And since we're practicing Henley, of course, along with the explanation of bodhicitta, we we want to practice in the sense meditate, compassion, loving kindness, along with the ritual practices. So meditation, as I mentioned yesterday, there are many ways of meditating anyway, and many varieties of meditation you can think of and you can talk about. But the the main principle is to familiarize yourself with something, with some idea or with some comprehension or view or something. So in this case, meditation, in this case, you are meant to be familiarized, meant to be making or the sort of developing the familiarization yourself, between yourself and the samsara, the samsara, the cause of samsara, or whatever, the mind itself. Mind is the best. Actually, sometimes we say familiarize yourself with the ego, but that's it's a bit difficult if you are not advanced practitioner. It's a little difficult to realize what is really the ego. But mind is something which we can realize very easily. So we are familiarizing ourselves with the mind, so that the true mind, hopefully, not only hopefully, but will be realize the ego, or realize the ego means understand how tricky the ego is and how is it functioning. So that sort of things. So this is what the first step of meditation. And when we speak about meditation on compassion, meditation on love, that actually again is familiarizing with the true love. The familiarizing yourself with the true love, and that is true love is the wisdom actually. So that comes back again to the contemplation, to your contemplation with the with the nature, life, with the life actually, life. So life, if you want to know pinpointly, like a pinpoint, kind of very clearly, when you speak about life, there's not much of things to talk about rather than what you can see, what you can do, what you can sort of perceive, and these are life anyway. When you like for instance, you stretch your hand, that's your life actually. And when you laugh, that's your life. When you smile, that's your life. When you are grumpy, that's your life. So that's a part of life anyway, these movements, all of your life anyway. So this is the thing. When we speak about the familiarizing yourself with your life, actually means you apply, or you apply the awareness between you and your life. That's the meditation. The awareness is the, what do you call that? Is the kind of a channel, or it's kind of a it's awareness is like a binoculars. It's like to watch the subtle things for long distance. So similarly, that the awareness is the thing that you should keep, so that it will link it'll link or it'll make you comprehend the life. It'll make appreciate your life. So that's, of course, it's the cause of this, cause of the bliss, cause of the joyfulnesses. But the meditation itself is the awareness itself. So if you aware of your life, day-to-day life, then the compassion comes, and the love comes, because your appreciation comes. Then the love and compassion spontaneously will be occurred, and that's being a main issue or main principle kind of a thing, a main sort of target of the meditation. You always have to develop your awareness. So that's the meditation, and meditation that we want to do that. That's the particular meditation that we want to do that right now. Be aware of your thing. It's happening here. That's the thing. Your life means that the things that is happening in your mind, in your front, externally, and also in the deep in your mind, deep, very deep inside, which is almost a secret. Also, whatever it is happens subtly, subtly, and also externally, whatever it happens, all should be included in awareness. And that's the meditation. And the awareness has to be, awareness will be able to keep if you have a concentration. And if you don't have a concentrational mind, then you cannot keep the awareness, because the concentration is the key point. Concentration is not there, so the awareness cannot be kept constantly. It will come, but then it won't stay there. So therefore, concentration is very important in meditation, literally. So practice compassion. Meditate on compassion and loving kindness. First of all, meditate on your life first, and then the compassion comes, and the love comes. That's the Mahayana, and especially the Vajrayana way of practicing compassion and loving kindness. But of course, the common Mahayana way of practicing compassion and loving kindness, or meditating on compassion and loving kindness, is first you have to not only your life, but you have to think about others. Think about others' way of looking at the world. That's the common way of meditating on compassion and loving kindness. First, you have to sort of cultivate your understanding upon the other sentient beings, other beings. When they, you should try yourself, try to understand or comprehend others' activities, others' attitude to the things around them. That actually means their attitude is very much fully contaminated. Contaminate means like fully influenced by the ignorant. So this is what should be making you feel very pity. So this particular pittiness is the one thing that you have to develop. You have to be feeling pity for the others, and that has to be developed by meditating on it. So this is a common way of doing the meditation on the compassion and loving kindness. Common sutra way, actually, sutra way. It doesn't really matter one way or another. It can benefit. It can develop the compassion and loving kindness. But from the point of view of Vajrayana, rather than thinking of others' attitude or others' life, think of your own life first. Think of your own life, means your own concept, the way you look at the things, and when you look at the things around you, you have a specific kind of concept that leads you to ignorantal kind of incident, ignorantly. So this is something that has to be aware of. So this is the Vajrayana, sort of external Vajrayana, and an outer circle of Vajrayana way of doing it. So then you look at these, and then these things, and then you just try to cultivate so that it sort of turns into a wisdom, into a wisdom. So let's do some meditation now. So let us do some kind of the unique Vajrayana way of meditating on compassion and loving kindness. Okay, which has to start from your life, and then once you know about your life, means your way of looking at the things, then you will be able to concentrate on the universal sort of life, or universal compassion and loving kind. First, you have to be sort of aware of your style of leading your life, by yourself. That's very important. And therefore, this also we commonly say that first you have to know how to love yourself, and then you can love other people. Otherwise, mostly we people don't love ourselves first. Even though we sort of selfishly we say, oh yes, I want this, I want that. But that's again ignorant. It's not a genuine love. The genuine love is that, the wish to sort out the problem from deep root. So this is the, a genuine love. So this is missing, even to us also, to ourselves. We don't really have that genuine wish to do so. So this is the thing that we have to develop. So in order to develop that, first we should know our own life, the way we have, the way we lead ourselves, and that's totally being an ignorant influenced, and therefore there's a much sense to do. There's a much sense if you can do. Meditate on that ignorantal way of leading life, and then you will understand. So therefore, what really practically you have to do is you apply your awareness between you and the things around you. So that's the thing. So then you will be understanding, gradually you'll be understanding what really is happening in your life every minute and second, and that leads you to the great compassion and loving kindness. and the next, let us do some concentrational this thing, because the applying your awareness on between you and your life, it's sometimes it's a little troublesome to do so without the concentrational sort of stability. So therefore we should do a little bit more concentrational meditation rather than the meditation on awareness. That will be done next time. I mean after the supplication. Now we supplicate again this praise to Lord Chenrezig, because this has to be done with the Guru Yoga thing. Like this is Guru Yoga actually. Guru as Avalokiteshvara, and you're seeking the blessings from him, from Avalokiteshvara, which represents the compassion and loving kindness. It's a love actually, love that comes into a form of Avalokiteshvara. Actually, it's the genuine, strong, universal love. So we are supplicating in order to get some insight of the compassion and loving kindness. So this is what we do, and then we do meditation. That right after that makes a lot of sense, and it will, through that blessing or through that understanding, you'll get to know what is really the reality of the compassion and loving kindness. Otherwise, if you don't do Guru Yoga, then you have to do by yourself. There's no support, so it's a little bit difficult. So support has to be sort of generated by doing this ritual practices, the praise to Lord Chenrezig or this sort of supplication. It's very important to do so. Omo jigden gombo la chai zelo jigden la ma ziva sumje de babo haye zo de da zambe de babo tube je jo de ne to ban ze babo jigden sumje gombo jo la chan zelo Deshe ba me ku de ku san Zimbabwe, Deshe nawan taye urgen Zimbabwe, Chayen chujin yida te kuma sewabu, Chaye ser peme nambara Zimbabwe, Tishime rebe tewa mars chubabu, Shere jeba dawa tabura Zimbabwe, Chengi pema chodo sanjin yawabu, Kawai tunda namgara tile dembabu, Time weja mudi sombo zembabu, Zebe weze kyare marbi dembabu, Peme zoda chane ngawai chebabu, Tenge tenje dodan tenje jembabu, Jinche mangbe pongba nine jembabu, No me zoda chande jambabu, Rida pave numa yemba kababu, Yenchai debe gejin jenam changwabu, Timai me be me chola ne babo, Tewe ngwe pe me dabdaran jambabo, Serje ke chola norbe te babo, Tazur te bere san shanda en zembabo, Tube kenjo zo jembare jembabo, Jonye zan Mangbo nyewa sawabu, Tado dewe njune kan sewabu, sumdaran zeje kaje jeba tamba Lujen chonde du bon chule jewa bo Sergye kandu daye shavye wa bo Sangbe neba jiye mba zeba bo Mangbe de da lang zen de da shekwa Sanjin tenpa nirwa bo Ome tsodan juye tso Durwa bo Kanji dadu tora lane kubayi Jenre zigi wangbo yila Simje jin Tebe chon Tajin sewa tenje na Tene jeba Amne pime yinjaro Jewa dia mao jewa tamje tu Jiden jiden lende gaba kundoi sho. The help of Avalokiteshvara is, is very badly needed, and it's very effective also in order to realize the nature of love, nature of compassion. In other words, true love and true compassion. Through the temporary love and compassion, actually. True love, nature love is, of course, is almost enlightenment. So it's a little far away to even to think about. But when it comes to the practical level, it always comes through almost the same as the love that we have each other, like each other family, amongst their family, and among their friends and all these things. We have love. That is almost the same. The only thing is that that love that we practice, or which has granted by Avalokiteshvara, has no ignorance associated. That's the only difference. But the actual sort of the practical level, speaking about the practical level of the compassion and loving kindness, it's exactly the same as common love, common compassion. It's what we have discussed. And so therefore we need that sort of blessings, or whatever you may call. That's very important. So the support of Avalokiteshvara is very badly needed. So and also now that is, of course, the support of the Avalokiteshvara that we are talking about. But now at the same time we should really be able to concentrate ourselves a little bit, because as I mention all the time, blessing is always there, and also Guru should also sort of try to really be giving blessings and all these things, and also try, and mainly, of course, the teaching is really the greatest blessing, actually. But Guru should be trying his best or her best to help his or her students. But of course, at the same time, the student has to really be doing practices. So one of the main sort of practice that we can talk about is the concentration of mind. And if you don't have a concentration of mind, then it's very much distractive. It's your meditation can be distracted in in a second or two. It's very much distracted. You will be distracted, because if there's something like that, you will be, the forgetfulness comes. Some noise comes, and your mind will immediately go there and wander. So the wandering thought will be distracted, or maybe the concentration of mind will be distracted by the wandering. That's the wandering thought. So it's very difficult to sort of to remain in a concentration of mind, which is very problematic anyway, actually, to start with. So we should be exercising ourselves to remain the mind in the mode of peace and concentration. This is what we should be doing it. Because the mind itself, as I mentioned, mind is always in a peace actually, but mind is very much influenced by the ignorant and then the defilements. So then the defilements drags the mind up and down. Otherwise, mind itself has no faulty actually. But then when it's influenced by these defilements and ignorance, then the mind gets very distracted. So therefore, we need to be concentrated as an antidote for the antidotes, to fight with the functions of ego and ego itself, or ignorant, whatever you call. Concentrational. Speaking about applying the concentrational mind. There are many ways to do that, but a practical way of doing it is the appreciation actually. Appreciation. For example, you appreciate. For example, you appreciate or you comprehend. You understand. All of these are very much influenced by the ignorant. You understand phenomena being very influenced by the ignorant. So then you literally you really don't want to be involved. You don't want to be involved, or in other words, you will be feeling much more easier to deny, to ignore the things happening, things from happening, or things. You ignore. Whatever it happens, it's okay. It's ignorant. It's ignorant that makes me feel that way. It's ignorant that makes me hear this. It's ignorant that makes me wonder. So these are just the functions of ignorance. So, you would be able to tell yourself immediately ahead of these things. So when these waves of like whatever that is, emotions and things comes, distractions and all these things come, you are quite prepared and ready not to be sort of involved, not to be trapped, not to be dragged. So this is the reason why the concentration comes very, very, very useful. Not only useful, but the concentration comes very, very obvious and very, how do you say? Very smoothly. Otherwise, the concentration is very. You will be struggling to do with the concentration, because to do practice of the concentration, because concentration always get distracted. Why? Because lack of comprehension. All these things are very much exist as they are, appears to be to you. So therefore, these things are very vivid and very obvious, and very strong, very strongly exist, very blindly exist. So therefore, whatever it's happening in front of you, whatever it's happening in front of your eyes or your ear or whatever, your senses, and then you will be dragged, So therefore, meditation, commonly meditation is done with closed eye and that sort of things, because they need to be closed, otherwise it will be very distracted. The car will come and distract it. Bird will fly distracted. The fly will go in front of you, distracted. Anything that happens, whatever it happens, it's distraction. Always distract. It never comes as a. It never sort of comes as a helpful. Always, almost everything comes as a distraction for us, which is unfortunate. Actually, it shouldn't be. We should, through meditation, we should be able to apply and contemplate and work on the things that it's appearing in front of us, with the things. And with the things that appears in front of us means like in front of eyes or six senses. You have to be able to work with. You have to be able to sort of, utilize it and meditate them, So finally you will be able to turn these things into meditation, actually, entirely in these things. The fly goes, or car comes, or people scream, or whatever. These things, all entire world will be sort of, will be understood as a meditation, or not only understood as a meditation, but it's just meditation. It's just meditation. There's no separation between the meditation and the phenomena that you can see. This is the kind of thing that you have to achieve. I mean, right now is exactly the opposite, Whatever it appears, it distracts you. So therefore, you have to close your eyes, you have to, you have to get in your room, and with a very, the kind of sound, with the way there's no noise, where there's no sort of baby, there's no wife, there's no husband, something like that. You have to be sort of always very stiff and all these things. And it's quite understandable also, because otherwise you cannot concentrate. It's unfortunate, actually, but it need to be trained. In order, you need to be trained by putting yourself into a middle of crowd, and then try to contemplate the meditation. Otherwise, if you keep on you always sort of escape the crowd or distraction things. Then if you keep on doing that, then you never get trained, and you feel sometimes very peaceful or quite nice when you are in a sort of a very remote area and all these things. But then when you come back to the crowd or city, you are finished. You are totally finished. You are as exactly the same as before. That's not right. Actually, you should be able to meditate in a crowd. You should be able to meditate in a city, or in the middle of, like a junction, like where the millions of cars are going right and left, and you are still in a meditative state of mind, which is great. So this is what you should be. This is what you should be doing it. So this is the thing. So this is what we should be doing. So this is the concentration of mind. We have to be constant. It's a challenge, but you have to be doing that. There's no other ways. So there's a challenge, but you have to do that. So we will talk about this later on in the next session. This lunch break is coming up quite just right now, because we have nyene. So even though we are not hungry, we have to have a lunch. There's no doubt. There's no choice. Thank you very much.